Hey guys, the title pretty much explains itself, and before I get started, I know I'm going to get a lot of dislikes on this video because there's a lot of Jesus mythicists on the internet, and they don't like their arguments being refuted, so I'm going to have to disable comments because I don't want to put up with the trolls. It's not because I'm trying to censor anyone's opinion. So let's get started. Objection 1, there is no contemporary evidence for Jesus. Answer, even if the statement is true, this is not a problem in terms of history. Just about everything we know from history is non-contemporary because events that happened in history were recorded by non-contemporary sources. So using this logic, if we are going to base someone's existence on contemporary evidence, then we may as well throw out what we know about history as it is recorded by non-contemporaries. Plus, there are many figures in history that we do not have contemporary evidence for, such as rabbis and war heroes, yet we do not dispute their existence. So why should we dispute the existence of Jesus as a man based on this? In addition, this statement is false. We do have contemporary evidence for Jesus. First, we have the 1 Corinthians 15:3-8 creed, which was recorded by eyewitnesses to Jesus that date back to the events of his life itself. Second, we have the Gospel of Matthew and John, and there is a solid case which can establish these Gospels as being written by eyewitnesses, meaning contemporaries, to Jesus, and a great source which does this is Jesus and the Eyewitnesses by Richard Bauckham. Third, we have the Shroud of Turin, and a strong case can be made for this being the burial cloth because of the latest scientific evidence or research. If you want more information on it, I recommend checking out shroud.com, and this would count as contemporary evidence for Jesus, obviously because it's the burial cloth that he left behind. So, with that being said, objection number 2, Tacitus and Josephus and the others who do write about Jesus cannot be used as evidence because they were not eyewitnesses. Answer, they do not have to be eyewitnesses to be considered evidence, and this is once again demonstrated by history itself. In history, it is not required to have it be an eyewitness account for it to be considered evidence. Take, for example, Alexander the Great. Plato writes about him 400 years after his death, and this is still considered evidence for his existence. And when you take into account that Tacitus, Josephus, and the others are only writing 60 to 70 years after it happened, it should still be considered evidence. Objection number 3, Tacitus, Josephus, and the others are only writing down what they had heard. Answer, there is simply no reason to think this. If you read the quotes in their context, they are reporting it as history. For example, the passage in Josephus about Jesus is written under the chapter of Pontius Pilate, and the passage in Tacitus about Jesus was written under the chapter of the Roman Emperor Nero. If they were just recording down what they had heard, why would this be the case? These people who wrote about Jesus also didn't consider Christians as a valid source of information, so why would they just write down what they had heard from them? You would think they would do their own investigation. And finally, objection number 4, no contemporary historians from the time of Jesus write about him. And my answer to this is that Tecton TV has refuted this objection, and I will link to it in the video description box. So that's about it, guys, and I know I didn't answer every objection that they make, but I answered the ones which I see the most. So yeah, I guess that's about it for this video. So next time, guys, like always, God bless.